Forget about New Year resolutions. Let's set some intentions. A new year, new you, new me. Welcome back to the pod. I'm Mike Dreyden Figueroa. This is Unscripted and Unrehearsed, where I give you my take on things that I've seen, experienced throughout the last week. It's been a week. You would think it would not be so much of a week, but it's been a week. Okay, so I wanted to talk to you this week about setting intentions for the new year, 2026. Intentions. We're not doing resolutions anymore. Resolutions are so 2008. We're 2000 and great. Intentions. We're going to work on, you're going to work on, I'm going to work on, we are going to work on and head toward accomplishments. But first, all right, listen, HIELO, for my Latino friends, we all know what HIELO is. HIELO. 1010 Wins had me, I'm walking Max, and I just started cackling out loud because the extent to which people are going to troll yellow people, not yellow people. Oh my God, that's awful. Yellow as in the frozen men in fatigues. I'm trying not to get striked, guys, because, you know, every time you say those particular words, you get pushed. I don't know. Listen. So this is what they're doing. Okay, so obviously we've all heard how people are, and citizens, mind you, are being detained indiscriminately, held for days and days until their identity is verified, simply because they look like me or anyone who's not this shade of complexion. And it's just apparent. And I hate saying the words, and I hate saying it, but it's clear. People are seeing this. So aside from all the legal battles involved, this is what people are doing, and I commend them because they're doing it in such fucking funky ways. It's hilarious. So in Ohio, I forget what town, but in Ohio, they're keeping these agents up at night by they're honking their horn when they find out where they're staying and whatever, inn or hotel, motel, whatever. They're honking their horns all night, chanting, singing, playing music, doing whatever they can to keep people awake at night. Some of them are in costumes. Some of them are in like those blow-up dinosaur T-Rex things, different kinds of that. Yeah, I laughed out loud. Then I saw a video of same said instance in Ohio where they were trolling these people. And I know how I get. If you wake me up and mess with my sleep, I am a grouchy bitch. I'm like, what? What? And now that I'm the age I am now, naps are beautiful. I love naps. I love a nap. Don't mess with my naps. But I can get one. Anyway, so there's that. And then this is the best one. This is the best one. So in the news, I don't know if you've heard, they were dispatched to New Orleans. Now I'm going to let that sit for a second. Okay, so if you know, you know. But for those who don't know, I'm going to put you in the know. Apparently, puppets have been popping up all over town dressed as yellow agents. HIELO is Spanish for ICE. Just to make it clear so people don't think I'm fucked up. So they're puppets popping up all over town with, like, pins in the heads and the hearts and all over the body. So this one chick on her Instagram reel was like, so if y'all show up and you start experiencing, headaches, uncontrollable diarrhea, etc., I'd consider going somewhere else. I literally jumped up and down saying, go sisters, go brothers, go, because that's how you do it. New Orleans, you think you're gonna mess with New Orleans? You've got ancient power in New Orleans, ancient from all cultures in New Orleans, and you're gonna, oh my God. Anyway, I got a great chuckle out of that. Um, I would like to. She showed a picture of one too. I should have snapshotted that. Oh, it was so cool. Anyway, look for it. It's fun. It's a great. I guess you can search, New Orleans poppets, NOLA poppets. Anyway, so this one really upset me too this week when I heard. So it's obvious how the current administration is forcing the hands of a lot of people who are trying not to, end up on the bad side of these people. So I forget the machinations behind it, but the new person running a particular segment of 60 Minutes or running the 60-minute segment of CBS killed a story that sent shockwaves through the journalism world. And it was basically, allegedly, this woman killed the story, which was leaked outside of the States and still made it to the airways in the States. And it's basically what happened to the men who were deported and ended up, instead of going back to where they supposedly come from, they ended up at the Secot prison, for the lack of a better term. I'm trying to think of it. Anyway, they got sent to that place. And what bothered me the most about this was that if we can't trust, well, I was going to say, if we can't trust the media, who can we trust? But that's not really the feeling I'm having. The feeling I'm having is, and it comes from my upbringing, the news was the news. You trusted in the reporting of what was going on, whether it be locally, nationally, globally. This is how you learned about the world, right? People out there telling the stories and bringing the tragedies and all of that. And it made you a more informed person, and it made you a more informed citizen. It was required at home and in school. We had to watch the 6 o'clock news, of course, or the 5 o'clock news after dinner, and we had to, pick a story and write about it, or we had to watch it. And because at some point in the day at school, something would come up, and we needed to either give our opinion or be informed. And that's how the world ran back then, right? Okay. I feel like, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought a little bit, but I feel like that these people, the reporters you hear about on 60 Minutes, like Anderson Cooper and everyone's whose name just flew out of my head, I feel like they should just boycott and walk. They should just walk and say, we're not going to participate. The word contract just slammed me in the face. I would walk and say, we are not going to do this if this is the policy now. I mean, a lot of them are multimillionaires. They can just, fight it out in court or what have you. But I love that Canada got released in Canada. Cheers to Canada. Blame Canada. I love it. So I had 2 beautiful days off this week. Normally, it's very rare. I think I mentioned this before. It's very rare that Broadway doesn't somehow manage to have a Christmas Day show. And I think a lot of people, all the unions, were arguing about that, because what would happen is, we'd have a Christmas Eve, or maybe Christmas Eve show and not Christmas Day, or a Christmas Day show and not Christmas Eve. But either way, those 2 days or the day after, it would just ruin the vibe, because we're trying to be with our families and celebrate and relax and whatever, and then we got to get up and go and do it all over again. And the money machine has to grind, right? All right. But, it would just put a damper on everybody's mood, like, yeah, we're here together. Yeah, but nobody really wants to be there. So anyway, we had 2 wonderful days off, and I'm not sure how this happened, but I think all of Broadway was closed or dark New Year's Eve and I'm sorry, Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. We have the same deal for New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. I can't wait. Um, so I caught up on a lot of shows, and I normally try not to sit still and watch movies and shows like that, but I'm grinding all the time. I'm writing, I'm reading, I'm doing stuff, I'm tinkering, I'm trying to get back into the regular gym schedule. But I never stop moving, and I'm like, I'm just so tired. And then of course having Max now, I'm constantly in and out, just, which is good for the mental health too, getting moving, taking care of him, playing with him. But I sat and I caught up on a whole bunch of stuff. What I found out, which really pissed me off because of where it could go, Boots didn't get picked up for a second season, which sucks because it was great the way they started it out as a basic training. I mean, there's a lot of they're saying all this woke nonsense. I'm just like, people. These are real people that do exist. There are a lot of closeted people in the military. Some are out. People argue about the benefits of don't ask, don't tell. For me, in my brain, it was like, all right, don't ask, I won't tell. It's none of your business anyway. You know, um, but wanting to be accepted, you try to like, hey, where's your wife, Mike? I'm like, I'm not married. I don't have a wife, and that's all you can say. Anyway, they didn't pick it up, and the way it ended, if you didn't see it, and I'm sorry, I'm going to spoil it for you now. The Iraq War breaks out, and these guys just finished basic training, so that is their clear destination. Um, I'm like, oh wow, that could be really interesting. These guys just made it through basic training. They broke down through all these barriers of color, of class, of sexual orientation, and the fact that there is these clearly identified Dominican character who, had the accent and everything. I was like, wow, this bro is like being his authentic self if he's not acting, and he just brought all of it to this character on screen, and it was beautiful to see. I'm not Dominican, but it was beautiful to see. I could relate to this guy. Um, but it broke my heart because I mean, it started out like I said before. I started out like, oh, I don't want this. This is a stupid story. Why I don't need this kind of. But then I saw what it was saying, and I got involved because there was a closeted character who was in leadership of these recruits, and he had to struggle with that too because his whole future was about to come to a crashing end because his secret got out, if I'm not mistaken. But he had support that he didn't realize he had. Anyway, more coffee. So, yeah, it really bummed me out, and I caught up on some shows. Speaking of shows, Netflix and Canada. Okay, I'm not on the bandwagon, but I'm on the bandwagon. Okay, everybody was talking about heated rivalry, and I'm like, all right, angst, teens, hockey. I tried getting into hockey when I was younger. I'm like, oh, let me see what this is about, because I think it was more of my father was the football head, and I was like this with my dad, and I was, anything he liked, I started to not like. Like, he hates hockey. He was very racist about it. Gringos this, blancos that. And I'm like, I'm gonna get into hockey. I understand not a thing about hockey. And it moved so fast, I'm like, what's going on? And then they would always, well, not always, but they would break out in fights. I'm like, I skipped it. And I didn't like anything about the teams and none of the colors and all the gay bullshit. I was like, you can't even see their bodies through their... Anyway, this was the young me, right? But I can enjoy, hearing about New York teams win because, I'm a New York boy. New York wins. Yay, New York. Okay. So, heated rivalry. I watched the first episode and my jaw hit the floor. And it was not because of, the nudity and the sex and all of that. It was about, and this is what gets me going, the cinematography, the storytelling, the acting, the camera angles, the subtle communication with the eyes and with the body language, everything that I aspire to bring to a character I'm playing, and finding those things in the character. And there's this chick, I'm gonna jump ahead in my notes because this chick really, since everybody is like obsessed about this show, they're all talking about it, and I want to find her name here. Where is it? La 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 la. I can't find it. I thought I wrote it down. I'll come back. Anyway, the books were written by a woman named Rachel Reid. Now, this is a woman writing about male love, cis male love. I don't know. And in my mind, I'm thinking, how who do you know? Who is in your life? How did you research writing about? Well, Canadians are crazy about hockey, so I get that part. I'm sure she knows everything there is to know about hockey. And if she doesn't, she knows people who do. But who do you know that could talk to you about being closeted, or gay men in sports not wanting to come out, the ramifications of if you do, because I don't want to spoil it for you, but that happens, but we don't get to the ramification part yet. I think that's going to be in season 2 or the finale, which I haven't watched yet, and I'm holding off because I already binged it twice up to episode 5, and I think I want to do it again before I see the finale. Excuse me. I am obsessed. So the series was written by and created by Jacob Tierney. Now, if you know who Jacob Tierney is, I think I posted about this a long time ago on Facebook. How the fuck all these years did I not know about Letterkenny? Now, Letterkenny, it was a brilliant show. The funniest shit I have ever seen. And I mean, these guys really went. So Jacob played the not gay pastor. Yeah, he's behind doing this. And I know what I like to do and what I'm trying to and aspire to do and try to accomplish. But seeing these people play these characters on Letterkenny, I had no idea that they did this. Obviously, I didn't know. But wow, he knew, he saw this vision. He had this vision after reading these books, and I guess they collaborated and talked about it, and they it is outstanding. This show needs to win all of the awards, and not because of being gay and the sexuality and all of that, but everything else, the acting, the cinematography, the lighting, the everything, the how they managed the locations with a very minimal staff, cast, minimal background, using, I guess, CGI to fill stadiums to make it look full of people, and it was brilliant what you can do with technology today. And I'm so grateful that they lit a fire in me that I'm like, I need to find stuff like this to do, and I need to be better at my craft. And I want to go back in class again. And I just spent thousands of dollars this last couple of years, not thousands, but about $1,000. I spent a lot of money going to classes that I need to do this. So I want more. And the show is not what I thought it was going to be. I need more coffee. Hold on. I need to calm down. The craze that it is. And okay, Connor Story, who plays the Russian character, Ilya, sorry. I thought this dude, and I'm gullible that way, but if you're good and you get me, I'm like, I got. He's an American. And his Russian, from what I understand, is newly learned for the show, I suppose. The accent, the mannerisms, the whole Slavicness of his character, he had it. Unless this is a part of his upbringing, he had it, and I was completely convinced he was a Russian actor who was playing this character, and I'm like, wow. Am I gullible? I don't know. I don't think I am, but yeah. Heated Rivalry got me, and the whole world is talking about. Well, people are talking about it, and what's really cool is the women fans of hockey who are like showing this show to this. And this is another thing too that really blew my mind. Straight podcasts are talking about, like Empty Netters, which is a hockey podcast. They're talking about it and dissecting scenes and like the authenticity of what it's like to be on a hockey team and playing hockey and all of that. These guys were talking about this, and there was no it seemed like they were not uncomfortable talking about This, us guys, when we're in the gym, we see each other naked and we're in the showers and blah blah blah. Boners happen. It doesn't necessarily mean anything. But they were talking about it like they were proud of the authenticity of that and the characters, and they were open and welcoming to this show. And I'm like, whoa, this is really cool. And I found them because just going through my entire algorithm is just this show now, and I'm trying to fix it again. But I was looking for more of the her last name is V, the person who's dissecting and talking about the production aspect of it. Because I mean, I don't want to fanboy on the characters and the actors. Oh, and there's another guy who was posting about it. He's like, I need me, these people in this coffee shop, who are they? I want to know who they are. The best friend of the one guy who works in the coffee shop, who's like, girl. We want to know more about her. We want to know about all their friends, in this place, this gay Cheers, this gay, Central Perk, kind of the way he put it. I would love to spin off of that show. Could be the name of the coffee shop. It's supposed to be in Williamsburg, but it's not. It's downtown. I think Toronto or something. Um, yeah, it was that too. Um, the merch is out of control. I mean, they did not skip a beat. I almost spent a lot of money on buying some shirts, and I stopped myself before yeah, I need to stop myself. Um, the merch is out of control. T-shirts, backpacks, uh, jerseys. Oh, and then the what killed me was the metaphors of the hockey team logos, like the one where Connor, not Elias Ilya's character is. They're the New York something, and they have like a cannon that's clearly phallic. And then the other guys, I forget his name. They're the Montreal team, and it's shaped like an M, but and then there's a fleur de lis in the middle, and it's put in such a way where it could, it's the backside. I'm like, clear, because Elia's top and Shane is the bottom in this relationship, and they dissected that so much. I'm like, all right, that's clearly probably not. That's reaching far, but I'm like, you're right. That's exactly what it looks like. The end of episode 5 blew my mind. I'm sure you've all seen it now. I have not seen the last one. There's a plow going by right now. God damn it. It was so quiet before. Um, Hurry up. I hope you can't hear that. Anyway, check it out. Heated Rivalry. It is the best thing on TV right now. And just get into it. I mean, there's a lot to see. There's a lot to see, but there's what's and another person dissected this as like not one of those shows. This is what makes it so good. It's not one of those shows where they understand a lot of production, a lot of companies that crank shit out. They understand people are not really watching. And sometimes I'm guilty of this. I'll be on my phone, I'm just listening to what's going on. Or I'm cleaning and doing whatever, and I'm listening to what's going on. But this show forces you to watch because there's a lot of body language. There's a lot of communication in the eyes. There's a lot of like what they did with texting on the screen. You have to stop and read this. A lot, and I had to put the closed captioning on because when I don't know if it's the show or what have you, but there's or somehow it didn't work. There's a lot of Russians being spoke and French, and there's no subtitles. So I turned the subtitle. You have to read so you can keep on. I think they did that intentionally, which I think is brilliant because you want people to grab them in. You really want them because they could have easily done all of these scenes with Russian accents, but they thought, and I'm assuming this and guessing this, that they said, let's just do it in Russian because not only is it a skill and not only is it fantastic, it's great storytelling and it will force people to read and watch what's going on. So the first time through, you have to read everything. You're missing what's going on screen, at least for me, because I'm very visual, so I'm like back and forth and it drives me bananas. Second time watching, I can pick up, and skim it real quick and watch the body language and what's going on. I loved it, and I love what they did there. And they got picked up for not a season 2, but a season 3. So, congratulations. These guys are, oh, I found it. Valentina V. Check out her Instagram. Valentina.v. V-E-E. All right. Those are the things that moved me this week. So, reviewing the year for myself, this is something I do just to see where I've been, how far I've come, and what I've let the ball drop on. And I think this year I really did not drop the ball on a lot of stuff. I didn't put a lot of pressure on myself to do so much. I picked the most important things to me and I tried to see it through. The first one was I rewrote season 1 of Last Call. And this came, I think I talked about it early on. This came after taking classes again. Because I put it on the back burner because I didn't think it was going to really go anywhere with the way I wanted to do it. And I was comparing myself to a lot of friends who use the resource because they're already connected in Hollywood and they've done stuff on television and they have a lot of those connections to propel their personal projects forward with a lot of financing before and going forward using social media and fundraising campaigns. I tried those routes and I accomplished that task and I raised what I could to create what I created, and I'm proud of that. But with this, after taking class and working with my teachers, Magali and Fred, they pushed me and taught me new things in directions that I had not considered, and that's what a great teacher does. I'm getting emotional because since I realized what acting was, is something I've always wanted to do. And I'll talk about that later. Anyway, I rewrote and finished season 1 of Last Call. Then I researched how do people get their projects in front of people who have the power to move it forward. I talked to a lot of producer friends of mine that I've met throughout the years working on Broadway, and I realized it's the same medium, except you're recording, whether you're doing it live. Producing is producing. So I said, hey, I'm doing this thing. I've done this thing. What would you advise the next step should be? 2 of them said, do you have a pitch deck? Show me your pitch deck. I'm like, oh, what's that? Da-da-da-da. Pitch decks. Okay. A lot of videos on pitch decks. A lot of people offering, pay me so much money and I'll show you how to do it. Which is great. It put me on a path. I was just researching. I was just asking questions, and I completed the pitch deck for season 1. A completely different story, but with the same foundation. And I'm proud of it. As I wrote it, and I realized who's going to play what character and the direction it's going to go, it's very Latino-centric in who's playing what, who the players are. Myself, my friend Mo, my friend David, who plays my brother, other friends who are going to be involved. And I think it's brilliant, obviously, because it's my baby, but the direction it's going to go is, like I said, it's a completely different story, but with the same foundation. And I think you're gonna love it once we get to that part. And while I was doing that, I drafted 2 outlines for the 2nd season and 3rd season because I wanted to go at least 5, but I'm pacing myself, So yeah, I showed the pitch deck to a few people. One note that I got back that I thought was really valuable was, why now? What is the importance of this story now? Why now? And I think that the fact of how Latinos are being targeted and racially profiled now is important because, the way things are happening and what I'm seeing is the first trying to eliminate birthright citizenship. How far back are we going here? Because my grandparents on my father's side were both born in Puerto Rico. Their grandparents, half of them were born on the island, the other half were born in Spain. On my mother's side, my grandmother was born in Ohio. My grandfather was born in New York. His grandfather, his grandfather's father was born in Germany. My great grandmother on my mother's side was born in Brooklyn, but her grandparents were born in Europe. How far back does this go? I mean, my mother's side of the family, they probably won't bother them. My father's side of the family, what happens to me and my sister and my niece? Because her father is black. So anyway, why now? And I think that this story tells the perspective of the same, hardworking people living their life, going through the stuff, and just trying to make it in the world, finding their place in the world. For Leo, my character, who is he? Yeah. So yeah, I'm very proud of that. That's my one accomplishment I made this year. Second was this podcast. I launched it. I wrote it. I figured it out. What did I want to do? And I started this primarily because there's two projects that I started. Was this one and another pod called Cue the Gains, and that is going to be about my three passions, which is theater and acting, guitar and music, and fitness. And I know so many people in all of these worlds that there's a lot to talk about, especially in New York and trying to survive doing these things, from personal trainers to musicians to fitness trainers. I'm sorry, actors and performers. We're all grinding. Some of us, middle age, and some starting out, some older. We're all across the entire spectrum. And I talk with my hands a lot. I realized that. I'll come back to that. So yeah, Unscripted and Unrehearsed is here. You're watching this finale episode, and I'm very proud of that. Another thing that now I don't know what possessed me, but I took this on, and I'm proud of it, and I can't wait to get started. I ran for and was elected to the seat of my union. On January 6th at 3 p.m., I will be sworn in as an executive board member of IATSE Local 306, which is the Theater Professional and Projectionist Union, front of house theater professional and projectionist union. Projectionists are the people who handle projections at events like all over town, theaters and movie theaters and stuff like that, who are not using, technology, and those people manage the technology aspect of it. So yeah, I did that. I'm very proud of that. And I got my own place again. I mean, albeit I have two roommates, but it's mine. My name is on the lease. I'm not renting a room in someone else's apartment. I'm not on someone's couch. Thank you to all my friends who let me stay on their couch. Glenn, I love you. For a whole year, I was on your couch. After LA, that's where I landed. It was quite a time. It's my place. And I'm proud of that. And I'm literally across the street from where I was when I was renting a room for 10 years. So I did that. And I completed two business plans for two other projects that I'm working on. I enjoy shooting film and creating stuff. So yeah, we'll see what comes of it. But two business plans, I wrote them, they detailed them out. Everything's great on paper. How it turns out is a whole other story, and we'll see what happens. So first steps. And I drafted the script for the first season of the other podcast, Cue the Game. So it's far more detailed and in depth than what I'm doing here with this. This is all about me sharing, my experiences and stuff, because I need to get it out, and I'm constantly in my head, and I'm like, what? I feel better so much every week after I put this out there. So yeah, those are my accomplishments for 2025. And audio, which never really works out well. My coffee got cold, and I'm almost done. All right, so now, my friends, I don't believe in resolutions anymore. I really don't, because I used to a long time ago. But what would happen was I would feel bad if and when I didn't follow through on them, and I would beat myself up about it. And it's not the greatest feeling, obviously. Now what I do is I reflect on the year before, and I think about, like I just did, all of the major accomplishments that I've had, and I'm very proud of it. I'm looking at my calendar now this month. It's not much that I did, but I was working on this and recording and putting up the shorts and sharing it, all of that stuff. Just enjoying the creative process, because there are no auditions for me right now. There's not much in the way of plays going on, and to be honest, a lot of plays are not surviving even limited runs right now because I think, as a side rant, people want the pizzazz of the musical and the big numbers, and when you're doing a play, it's very quiet, it's very intimate, and it takes a lot of attention, and I don't think people have that attention span anymore, and it's tough. With that said, so I reflect on the year, and I go through my calendar month by month. And I did that what was it, on Thursday? Yeah, Thursday morning. I have a new calendar, and I went through the old one, and I put everybody's birthdays where they belong. I think I only did that for January so far. I haven't done the whole thing. And I'll do it like as the months come in when I put in my work schedule. Maybe I'll do that later. I don't know. I'll get obsessed about it. I have to get it done. So I'll go through the month and see what I've accomplished every month, and reminders and dates and stuff like that. And I take pride in those things that I've pardon me, that I've accomplished. Because we forget that it's the little things that we've done that are major for us, and we may not share it with people, but yay, I did it. You did it. Yay, did it. How? Take pride in those accomplishments. That's what I do. So then I look for the lessons that I learned, and I try not to repeat them if they're bad ones, and I try to apply them if they're good ones. So if I learn something really good, I try to continuously apply that new lesson. And if it's something I experienced that I didn't, I avoid trying to repeat that. And I pinpoint the negative experiences because the failures I don't want to repeat, but I look for what did I learn from what's considered a failure if it didn't turn out the way I wanted it to. And is it a failure, but something came of it just for yourself? Because I may be jumping ahead here, but I think the most important thing for creatives, I think, is that if you're chasing notoriety, fame, and the money, it's going to be a grind that you don't want, because that is fickle. If you're doing it because you love to, you have to do it. You cannot exist if you don't do it. Like I'm doing this here. Like I have to do this now. I have to read a play. I have to read an acting book. I have to find an acting class. I have to find, people talking about production and what their take on it is. And I have to, when people think when I go to work and I'm sitting down and taking a nap before we start, I'm watching setup. I love to watch setup. They run through, they set everything ready for the first act, the first scene, the first movement. I have to watch them. I have to. So if you're doing this for the wrong reasons, you're not going to get very far. If you're doing it because it's ingrained in you, you're going to get somewhere. I forgot the point I was trying to make. So I look for those lessons in that, and if I can grab something from that and apply it, okay. If it's something not cool, then I won't. So then I begin setting the intentions or the goals that I want to complete after I've pulled all of that together. Like for the new year, for me, there's a list of things that I want to do. I've jotted them down. I'm jumping ahead. So I have a notebook. This is one of my notebooks. Sometimes I carry this around with me, sometimes I don't. I jot down a note in the notes app of my phone, and I'll copy it here, or I copy what I've written here into the notes app, so it's always with me somewhere, somehow. Like, what's this? This is this is notes for the pod, this little tab here. So it's like, the title, the description, the thumbnails, the audience I'm trying to reach, why is it for them? What will they get from it? I'm reading this without my glasses. Why is it what? Hold on. La, 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 la. No editing, folks, here. Why Why am I qualified to? It's just my experience. Why am I qualified? And the gear, what do I need? Microphones, camera, lights. That's what I got. So yeah, I jot down, I have all kinds of notes in here. Just stuff that comes to mind that if you, I think I'll remember it later. No, it never happens. Like there were 5 times this week alone, I said, oh, I'll write it down when I get off the train, and I forgot. So what I need to start doing is using this and using my phone, say, Siri, write a note, blah, 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 and do it right then and there. And it's easy to do when I have my AirPods in, so I could do that. So I have my notebook, and I have a bigger one here. I wanted to start, but I'm like, do I really want to carry that? I don't know why I bought that big notebook. And I had a reason. I'm like, oh, I need a big notebook. That's not what I'm going to show you my big notebooks in a moment. So I write down, I do that there in those notebooks, and I list everything that I want to manifest and accomplish. Now, when I say manifest, I don't mean the woo-woo manifest, to the universe. No, I believe when you speak something out in your positivity, when you speak out, I am this, I am doing this, not I want to do this, or I'm going to do, I want this, I am this, I'm completing this. It sets those intentions, and your voice is sound, and sound is vibration. Now I don't, and it's science. It is what it is. That sound that just reverberated. I'm sure my roommate heard me do that, and I know Max heard me. He's sleeping on his floor bed. That vibration is out in the universe now. At some point somewhere, someone's going to hear a clap or sound or something. Not necessarily mine, but the vibration. Everything we do, we move through sound and energy. And I firmly believe that when we speak out our intentions, that energy bounces out and comes back to us with what we wanted and what we're intending. So when I say manifest, I mean listing out everything and speaking it into existence. It makes it real. And if it makes it real because you heard it, it makes your brain say, oh, I got to do that thing. And manifestation isn't like just leaving it in, it's going to come back to you. There is work involved. There are steps involved. There are things you have to do to get to where you want to go. And once you remove all of the barriers and all of the doubt and all of the outside noise, or even some of the inside noise, and just go, you begin to see the change, and you begin to accomplish, and everything you want is coming to you, but you're making it happen for yourself as well. Like, I'm sorry, I had all these thoughts at once. For instance, and I'll share for you, like some of the things I write down, so from everything from travel to fitness to, and in between, performance and all that, I write it down, something I want to do. And some of them are action items, and when I say action items, these are things that you're going to actually put in your calendar to complete. And I don't want it to sound like, I don't want to jump ahead either, because it's part of the same conversation, the same thought flow. Putting things on your calendar, I don't want you to look at them as something to put pressure on yourself. The way I use my calendar, and I do it strategically, is like I live with my calendar. Everything goes on the wall calendar and in my phone. And if it's not there, it doesn't exist. So it keeps me focused and also not distracted, which is the same thing. And I meant to say not forgetful of something that's important to me. So don't look at it as something that to put pressure on yourself, like, oh, I got to do it by that day. Just look at it as like, oh, on that day, I'm doing this. Oh, on that day, I'm doing that. Oh, everything I need to do to get ready for that day, to do that thing, let me start on it. And I'll even share with you what my calendar looks like. This is my wall calendar. See? So what you have here are holidays highlighted, and then my work schedule, and I cross off each day. And I have a blue Sharpie and a yellow highlighter. And if you pause that to see it, well, I got to scratch off this date. There we go. That's how I say it. And I look at it real quick, so that I don't pick up my phone. I'm like, oh, what's today? Oh, okay, Sunday. It's a 2-show day today. Oh my God. I forgot it's a 2-show day today. Eek. I will survive. All right. Do not look at it as something that's going to put pressure on yourself, but something that you're doing on that day. It's like, I'm going to the beach today. Oh, I have dinner with these people. Oh, blah blah blah. I'm doing this thing today. All right. So setting your intentions. Where to start? I think for me, I list 3 things that I'd like to accomplish. Whatever intensity they may be, just 3 things. And then you want to be strategic about them and with time. So if it's something that's huge, it's going to take a lot of time and effort, consider that well, because there's so much time in a day and you don't want to kill yourself. You want to be able to accomplish a task and set the intention for that task. And we want to feel good about it, right? Be strategic with your time, especially, because you don't want to burn yourself out. You need to get sleep. And the more sleep you get, the more successful I think you'll be at it. Then you want to break those things down into steps. You want to figure out how many steps you're going to need to do to get there. The road you're going to take after you break down the steps. And then now you have a plan. So now you're going to take all of your notes and you're going to create a to-do list. And like I was saying before, you're going to start with the most important thing to you first. You're going to research that thing, you're going to read up on it and everything. And when I say research, I mean, make sure on the day you're ready to start this, or you want to be completed, you're reading about the subject, you're talking to people about the subject, you're listening to people about the subject, everything you want to find out your perspective on the subject, and then go from there, whether it be whatever way you're going to do it. Find knowledge of people who are doing what you want to do, who have succeeded, what you think they've succeeded in doing the thing that you want to do, and maybe follow their guidance. Take some of the things that they've done and apply it to yourself. Maybe you'll get to where you want to go. Maybe it'll be different. It is always different. Everybody's path is always different. How you get there, it's up to you. How long it takes for you to get there is up to you. There's no rush. So yeah, you've got the important thing down to you, and then you're going to research about it, everything you need to know about that thing, that subject. Then you're going to figure out where you can start working on it. So, that could be any which way. It could be writing a note, or it can be watching a movie about it, what have you. You're going to figure out how it works, how to make it happen for yourself in your own way, is what I'm trying to say. And this is where my calendar comes in. I put everything from my to-do list to everything on the calendar. And like I said, it's not a deadline. Although deadlines are important for when you want to get certain things done, you got to get this off your plate so you can go on to the next thing. Do not look at anything on your calendar as, oh my God, I have to do this, or if not, I'm failing. No. Think of it, oh, on this day I have to do that thing. If you're not ready, fine. Push it, keep working on it till you can complete it. You set the intention is on your calendar, you're working toward it. That's the intention, the goal is at the end, right? Okay, completion is at the end of the goal. Yeah, like I said, I'm sorry. I'm trying to not jump ahead and back and forth, but always look at it as something that you're doing that day. You're right. So working on the plan, right? You have all the elements, you have everything set up, you're ready to go. So you taking the action will make it a reality. And there you have your thing is alive. It's real. Your intentions are being accomplished. You're working toward it. Do not be afraid. Do not let anyone know what you're doing. And the reason I say that is because the greatest of intentions in congratulating you on, oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm blah, blah, blah. The more you work on the project and then release it, the better you're going to feel about the success of that project, because I believe, and I'm trying to edit myself and I'm not going to do that. A lot of people, they may be your friends or they may be supportive, but they're not. Some of them aren't. Some of them are jealous. Some of them are jealous. And you can see it in their face and how they react to you. If you catch someone like you come up on them and surprise them, their immediate reaction when they see you, that's their true face and how they see you and feel about you. Don't tell anybody what you're doing. Share it. If you want to collaborate with someone, absolutely. Say, hey, I'm working on this thing. Maybe let me get your advice. You want to help me on it? You want to do it with me? I thought maybe we could work on That's fine. But don't tell anybody what you're doing until it's done. And also remember, this is all about you. This is about your creativity. This is about your success in whatever. And all of this I'm talking about is not about the performing arts only. This is about business as well. If you want to start a business, all of these things apply. Talk to people who are doing the thing that you want to do. Research it. Write notes, set intentions, plan things out on your calendar. Visually on the wall there is very powerful because it stays in your mind's eye too. When you're like, oh, wait, what was the thing? And then if it's in your phone, you can go there quickly as well. A dream written down with a date becomes a goal. A goal broken down into steps becomes a plan. A plan backed by action becomes reality. I don't remember who wrote that, but I've heard it a long time ago when I was living across the street. And it's been my, not mantra, but the wheel that I've been steering by. Everything, once you write it down, it becomes a goal. Once you get it out of here, like thinking and convince yourself you can't do it. No, write it down. Then you look at it again. You're like, what would I need to do? Let me break that down. Oh, okay. Journaling too. This will always help set your intention too, because there's a lot of noise in your head when you're trying to figure stuff out, as we all know. Maybe you, maybe not know. One of the most important books I've read in my life, and an old friend turned me onto it. It's called The Artist's Way, and it applies to everyday life. But in The Artist's Way, there's a project that you work on is called Pages. That's where this comes in. So I have a floor stack of them and a box full of them. This is my journal. And I'm not consistent the way I used to be, but the way it works is every week is your journal day. You write 3 pages, anything in your head, nothing planned, nothing, oh, today I don't want to do this. Just anything that's in your head. Oh, my coffee, I hate the coffee that I made today. I overslept, the dog shit on the floor, etc., etc. Everything that's in your head that you're right then and there, just write it out. Get the noise out of your head. The idea is that once all of that is out of your mind, you're able to focus on what you want to focus on. And you can go, and you're not supposed to look back after you wrote it. Just close the book and put it aside. You can, at the end of the year or what have you, go back. I've gone through all of my journals. Some of them I can't even read my own handwriting, but I get the gist. I can tell you a lot of it is started with a broken heart. A lot of the same wishes and goals and stuff. A lot I've accomplished, and it took me time. But what's interesting is that this one I started on May 16th, 2021. And I'm not consistent, and I don't do a whole 3 pages, but because I'm so busy in my creativity and reading and taking classes and all that, I really haven't had the time to do that because my focus is on creating. And a lot of the noise in my head is not there anymore, and I'm grateful for that. And because I'm creating and focusing my mind over there, the noise is gone. Believe in yourself 100%. You want external support. You want external cheer and rah, 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 go you, go you. I'm there for you for that. Go you, go you. But believe in yourself 100%. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. It doesn't matter if it's, becomes this craze like Heated Rivalry, because they had no idea that this was going to happen. The guy who's playing Connor's story, he's like, oh, I'll do the thing. He didn't think it was going to be anything. But look at the magic that happened. Anything can happen. Believe in yourself. Do not compare yourself to anyone else either. I know it's hard. I am guilty of it myself sometimes. Just do what you're doing. Put it out there. Let it go. If people like it, they like it. If they don't, fuck them. It doesn't matter. I want that for you. Now, please take all of that. Set your intentions. If you want, email me, send me a note or whatever. I will write this all out for you so you can try to follow along. I'll give you the notes that I have here, the way I wrote them out. You can copy and paste the show notes as you're listening to it on any like Apple or whatever. they'll be in the show notes for if you're watching on YouTube. You know, it's not exactly bulleted like I have here, but it's something you could follow along. And try, do something new. Don't be afraid. Don't worry. Don't worry. All right, so I'm moving on to the giveaway. Now, I'm kind of bummed. I was trying to, okay, I was upset because there wasn't a lot of engagement for this, and I was hoping that this would spark engagement and sort of, you know, move things up for me. The giveaway, I've postponed it. No one responded, no questions. Nobody really has anything they want to ask me. So I decided to hold off. And so what did I write here? It's like, so these were the prizes. A microphone bundle, like clip-on microphone bundle with a wind muffler and a magnetic tripod. There's 2 sets of those, and a dual microphone setup with a USB connector and wind mufflers. I don't know why I point because it's fuzzy. So they're there. I'll hold on to them. Maybe we'll deal with that another time, but I'm holding off on giving them away. So yeah. Okay, folks, I think that's it. Oh, I have a correction to make. Last week I said Steve Cannell when I meant Sean Cannell of Think Media. It's Sean Cannell, Cannell. I fixed the links, so apparently the links were off, not right. So thank you, all of you who watched and downloaded this first season of Unscripted and Unrehearsed with Mike Dreyden Figueroa. That's me, Mikey Dreidel. Side note, Roma, Sister Roma in San Francisco, nicknamed me Mikey Dreidel. And it's stuck all these years. So yeah, I want to thank you all for watching and listening. I'm grateful, incredibly grateful, and deepest gratitude to everyone out there, and it means a lot. And if you made it this far, I want you to comment with the party face emoji, you know, with the hat and the that one. So yeah. So I'm going to take a couple of weeks off. If you're watching, let's see. Look, just remember, like, subscribe, share. I'd appreciate it. If you're listening on anywhere you listen, you know, 5-star rating would be nice. Downloading would be better. Have to ask for what you want, and I'm asking you. Oh, it's my Captain Kirk. Anyway, thank you. I appreciate it. Have a happy, healthy, and safe New Year. Oh, before I go, so this hat, I have that snowman on it, keeping with the trend. All right, Happy New Year, everybody. I love you. Bye.